Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's Friday. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well. Yes, we have made it, guys and gals. We've made it to the end of the week. So, today, Family Law Friday. And at the moment, Friday Law Family, I'm going to make it more of a thing. You see what I did there? Family Law Friday is going to be a thing. Just to kind of, at the moment, I'm just kind of catching up, checking in with you guys, and just listen, yay, we made it to Friday, yeah? So yay for that. Interesting. Hi, Sophie. Hello, darling. So interestingly, last night, we did Ask Us Anything about family law, and that was a huge success, you know? And it didn't always have to be doom and gloom. Part of what we do is you gotta put a little bit of a light thing onto it, yeah? So how the conversation ended up around alcohol, goodness only knows. But apparently I'm promised some single malt whiskey, which I'm absolutely holding to. So guys, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, still holding you to that whiskey, by the way, just saying. So guys, so last night we had a great session. We had an ask us anything about family law. We're going to make this a monthly thing. Yep. I mean, we kind of were doing it anyway, but often when we're kind of snowed under, inundated, as you can imagine, during COVID, we tend to, they kind of just get a bit lapsy, if truth be told. So you'll get it soon. I'm holding it to that. So what we're doing, we're going to make it, we're growing, guys, you know, we're growing super fast. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens behind the scenes that you don't know about. And honestly, some of it kind of is more detaily stuff that kind of bores me. So we are growing really fast. There's a statistic that I'm honestly inclined to believe. Now, I know what people think about statistics, but there's a statistic that as we're heading into a recession, that 70% of family law solicitors are going to close. I am not surprised to hear that, to be honest. Now, it's a statistics, right? But here's the thing, you know, when we think about the fact that already what's happening in family law is that most people walking through the doors of family law courts represent themselves. You think about that for a second. That was before a global pandemic. Like, do the maths, right? We're heading into a recession. People aren't going to be able to afford, just generally speaking, they're not going to be able to afford the £250 an hour plus VAT that solicitors charge. So, and we've already seen the effect of that. We have been online, remote. You guys know, if you are OG subscribers, you will know that we have been online and remote for years. I mean, I think we celebrated our 11th or 12th birthday. Either way, we've been around for a very, very long time. I myself have been working in litigation, civil litigation, for around 20 years now. So when I say to you guys that I have seen everything that you guys are going through, I get it. So when we think about that statistics, about most people who go through family law are representing themselves, then people want that. People want to have that proverbial arm around the shoulder. I mean, one of the things that we found last night was that one of the hugest things, it wasn't necessarily always talking about case law. We weren't talking about statute. What people want is practical, reassuring help. How do I put block A on top of block B? What's the plan? People want a plan. And when people have a plan, your anxiety goes from fifth gear to first gear, just like that. And that's what we do. That's what we've been doing for years and years and years. Now, I don't know if some of you know this about, I mean, maybe you do, maybe you don't, maybe you don't care. But I'm, aside from doing this as I have done, one of the things that I specifically admired, wanted to know more about, was it's all very well having case law, and I've been doing this, you know, honestly, the legal side of stuff now for me is the easy bit. But the thing that was the challenge most in people's everyday lives was that stress, was that anxiety. It was the uncertainty. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with facing and speaking to your ex? How do you deal with talking in family court? How do we deal with talking to professionals? I guarantee you that they don't teach you that in law school. Spoiler alert. So I don't know if some of you know this about me, but I'm also an NLP and hypnosis trainer. And believe it or not, I have a private practice, by the way, and I deal specifically with difficult relationships. So couples who want to come to me for therapy, that's been my bag. Because honestly, listen, I deal with the shitty end of stuff. You know, I deal with right here, right now, when people are separated and things are going to shit. But I also deal with the flip side of that. So when people are at that point when they don't want to separate, you know, before they get to being in their proverbial bunkers, that's my shtick. I deal with specifically difficult relationships, and guess what? There's no shortage of those here, especially here. You know, people struggle in terms of communication. Now listen, communication's great. If we all go and we all Google about how do I talk to my ex, they go, yeah, communication is up there. You see Saint Google talk about it, we hear the courts talking about it, but often what exactly does that look like? Like seriously, what does it look like? So one of the things that I specifically deal with is understanding how people communicate. What do they say? I was in a court hearing once, and guy, okay, spoke in very, very short content length. Like he spoke pretty much on a need to know basis. It was almost like he communicated in bullet point form, you know? So consequently, on the flip side, his ex, mum, her content length was very, very long. You know, when she would send a message, for example, like, SMS was just not a thing. Everything was very long. Her text message would probably include about 3 or 4 text messages. There was no abbreviation. It was very well punctuated. Everything was written out in full and probably spelled correctly. So, and when she spoke at length. It was sort of one story after another. Well, it was obvious that the two parties were never going to be able to communicate, because from her point of view, she thought that why can't he tell me a load more? And from his point of view, he thought, well, why do I need all that information? It's too much. I'm bombarded. So the way that people communicate, especially when a couple have split up, is super important. So I do a thing about understanding how people communicate. Secondly, so one of the fun things I'm doing today, actually, so I mentioned before that family law assistance is growing fast, like super fast. And in the background, Stephen and the team, like there's a whole heap of stuff that's going on. So our website's being revamped, you know, you are going to see like a lot more of us. We're going to be doing a lot more things as well. And I'm really, really excited, because one of the things I talked about last night on the Ask Us Anything was just that I'm amazed, I'm shocked, I'm amazed that no other family law specialists, solicitors, barristers, family law specialists doing what we do. Good morning, Ashley. Good morning, my sweet. Top fan. I just saw that come up going top fan. There should be some reward for that. So one of the things that we're doing is we are doing a load more. I'm amazed and shocked that most other people aren't doing this. One of the things that we discovered last night was that people just needed that reassurance. Nobody else is doing this. Like, and I'm here thinking, well, this is really obvious. Why are people not doing this? You know, last night, apart from people wanting a plan, so there were 2 things that were achieved last night. People got a plan. Having a plan is super important. Having a plan gets rid of that stress. Not entirely. I mean, I'd be a bit worried if people were really cocky and, you know, blasé and cocky with it all. But people having a plan, that's super important. People having that reassurance, that arm around their shoulder to say, look, it's okay. It's okay and normal to feel what you're feeling, okay? Don't worry, it's okay. We got you. That alone is worth, it's worth a lot. So we're going to be doing much more of that. I'm also going to be putting together some masterclasses for you guys. Some guys, look, I get it, okay? A lot of you lot out there want to be doing stuff by yourself. And heck, why not? It's a very empowering process. You're not having to rely on a third party. You know who, what, why, where, when and how, like that. So you don't have to rely on a third party having to do that for you, right? The number of times I hear people say, good God, my barrister, like, you know, is it too much to ask for him to know what my children's names are? So I get it. Or what about the people that have been in court with a barrister or solicitor, and their barrister and solicitor have just left their client, just left you and wandered off because, oh, guess what? They've got somebody else to deal with as well. People in family court, especially in family law, need that reassurance. They need that, okay? So, and we hear you. We totally get that. So we are stepping up for you guys. We are taking it the next step further. We are putting on some masterclasses. You're going to see a lot more. We're going to be doing a monthly Ask Us Anything. We're going to, and also, by the way, one of the things that I admit at the beginning, I'll be honest, I was a bit reluctant. But I'm now doing family law assistant training. You heard me. If you want to be doing what we do, then drop me a message, because I will be teaching you, intensely mind, about the areas of law that we cover and how we tick. How do we communicate? A lot of the time, people go into court and they're either spouting case law that nobody cares about. I mean, don't get me wrong. Those principles for those case law is absolutely what we need to have in our in your case. But listen, it's not an episode of Suits. No, this is not the Rumpole of the Bailey. So I'm going to be teaching you about Private Law Children's Act. I'll be teaching you about divorce, finance, occupation orders. Okay, if you're up for it, Canwell, drop me a message, okay? Yeah, so and you also, so when you've done that training, okay, you get to be part of the team, all right? This is really exciting. So spoiler alert, I turn away more people that I take on, because I need people to have that right mindset. Honestly, listen, if you have the skin of a rhinoceros, B, the passion to want to help somebody, then this is for you. If you think to yourself, geez, Louise, I could do this better myself, then get in touch with me. You also get to be part of our team, okay? There's one thing for certain, guys and gals, okay? There is one thing for certain. We are in lockdown at the moment, okay? Applications are piling up. They are so piling up, okay? And at the end of it, people aren't going to be able to afford the high price and high ticket price solicitors, nor do they want them. I mean, spoiler alert, a lot of our clients come to us not because they can't afford a solicitor, but because they don't want one. Hashtag if you know, you know, okay? Listen, I'm not solicitor bashing at all. I mean, a lot of our amazing friends actually are solicitors and barristers, but I can't ignore some of the issues and complaints, okay, that solicitors and barristers they've said to me. I've got a case at the moment. It's one of my fascinating cases, honestly. Can I say anything? No, I can't. Oh, I wanted to. Oh, I so wanted to then, but I'm not going to. But it's a really, really fascinating, intricate case. The guy has spent like 60k on solicitors before he get to me. If I had £1 for every time someone said to me, oh, if only I'd met you sooner, I'd be a bajillionaire by now. So if this sounds like something that you want to be doing, okay, and you've got that passion, that drive, that will to want to make a difference, you know, this is not just about, I want to be really clear, what we do here is very, very different, the role of that of a solicitor and barrister. What we do here is a really nice melting pot between knowing the law, knowing what works, and having that ability to properly coach your client, because spoiler alert, that's what most of the time that you're going to be doing. Knowing how people communicate, knowing how people tick, knowing why they communicate in the way that they do. Why is it that when you go to court, and listen, from an objective point of view, you will be going to court if this is your thing, and you will be thinking to yourself, why can't these people get on? You know, you've had 5 children together, you're shy of the Von Trapp family, why is it you can't get on? And there's a reason for that. There's a whole psychology. And listen, as an NLP and hypnosis trainer, I personally think is super important, because in court, I'm great at negotiating. I'm great at negotiating because I know how people tick. Not only have I been doing this for forever, but you know, I know how people tick. So when it comes to negotiating, you can be flexible in your language. You can be flexible in the way that you think to get what you want, to make, and listen, sometimes you are wrestling the gun from your client's hands. You so are. So if that's something that you fancy, that you think you're up for, then holler at me, okay? And we'll get things into motion. But aside from the training, I mean, like Stephen said, yeah, we've got, so one of the things, so we've got a team of 7 people so far who are part of our gang, part of our tribe. You know, one of the things that I learned when I first started out was, it doesn't matter how much legal training I'd had, okay, in crusty books, like there was no support for people like me. There was no support for, you know, so I've made the mistake, so you guys don't have to. I mean, an expert is only an expert once they've made all of their mistakes in their niche field, right? Yeah. So I've done all of that so that you don't have to. One of the things I'm very, very keen, a little bit like here, okay, anyone that's part of our gang, anyone that's part of our tribe, they really are part of that tribe. I firmly believe in supporting people who are with us, supporting ongoing trainings and really taking care of those people. A bit like what I kind of do here, you know. I mean, listen, I jump on a live here, and some of the time I'm not educating you. Some of the times I'm not educating you. A lot of the time I'm reassuring you, I'm checking in on you, I'm making sure, how are you doing? Like, how are you doing really? Is there anything that you need answering? We put out our Ask Us Anything. I'm going to be doing more of that because, listen, as a community, not just our team, but you lot, did you know? I mean, I was astonished. Did you know we've got 1,200 people? Stephen, check the stats for me. But I think we've got 1,200 people who are part of this community. That's amazing. That's amazing. A lot of you check in, a lot of you send messages, a lot of you join us on the Ask Us Anythings. So we're going to be taking that to the next level now. We're going to be putting out masterclasses. And one of the things that, I'm going to have a drink in a minute, my morning coffee. Hey, do you like my mug? So Stephen's son got him this as a Father's Day present, and I've nicked it. I have to say, okay, that I'm a bit of a mug collector. Is collector, it's probably too strong a word. I collect mugs. I just like a lot of mugs. I haven't counted how many mugs I've got, but I like a good mug. For me, a mug symbolises something comforting. So like, we are growing as a community. We're growing. And if it wasn't, I always say this place is for you. It always has been. There are some people out there that kind of want to campaign, and that's fine. Okay, listen, I know the shortfalls and the shortcomings of family law. I know the shortcomings of the various legislative statutes. I get it. Okay, but that's never been our shtick. Okay, because instead we have invested in infrastructure. We have a team of people that are ready to answer your calls. Who get you, who understand. We have our website, all the stuff that sort of gets to answer your questions specifically. You know, we've put out blogs, vlogs, articles, you know, we do an Ask Us Anything. So we've really invested in our community. That's where our heart and soul and energy and resources, that's where we've gone to, because it is all about you. Okay, and if anyone says it otherwise, they are so in the wrong job. Okay, this is about you, this community, this person that's 1,200 of you lot who are part of this community, makes you guys very, very special, and we've always had you in mind. So to that end, there's a whole bunch. So we are revamping our website. We are really pushing out anybody who wants to be part of our tribe and who wants to make a difference in family court and do what we do, okay, then we would love to hear from you. I am very, very keen to grow our tribe, both in the community for the people who need us most, and for the people who really want to go out there and make a difference to people's lives in family court. And make no mistake about it, okay, that when you're helping in a family court and you're doing a good job, you absolutely change lives. I had loads of people, mainly family law professionals, mainly solicitors, barristers, legal advisors, judges, ask me the same question. They always say to me, Michaela, why don't you go off and become the solicitor, become the barrister? My answer has always been the same, and that is I don't want to, because what we provide, what we do here, what is needed now, like I said, is that melting pot of having a plan, that reassurance and coaching, and a good working knowledge of the law, and that support, you know, because listen, there are a lot of one-man bands doing what we do, and I'm not about that. We have been, me and Stephen, for years, and it's only been in the last year or so that we have really sought to grow our tribe and to really make a difference, okay? We have always been passionate about putting our people first. Those of you going through family law troubles at the moment will totally get the stress, the anxiety that you go through. Okay, so on that basis, funny enough, I'm actually training somebody this morning. I'm very excited. He's an immigration lawyer. I know, right? One of the things that he specifically wanted was to know how people tick. How does he work with clients in a brilliant way? And he wants to be part of our tribe, and I'm super excited. So that's going to happen this morning. So I'm going to get off and refresh my cuppa. Ashley, you guys are amazing. Oh, don't. Oh, Ashley, you have me in tears, okay? I am so passionate about what we do. I have been. I think it's that passion, honestly, that has kept us going for the last nearly 12 years. It really has. Our passion for doing what we do, putting you guys first, delivering what you want. I mean, it's hard. It's not rocket science, this, you know. Delivering what you want, what you guys need. That's always been our go-to. So guys, have an amazing rest of your day. I'll check you later and take care.